Hey, we're here and we're back with Mr. Steve Schuyler, and he is the CEO, the owner, the founder of JavaTwist. Now, JavaTwist is an innovator in the beverage industry. They combine cold brewed coffee with fruit juices. They're based in Pewaukee, Wisconsin, and Steve works 80 hours a week. He pursues his dreams, he does the hard things, and we need to hear about this message because many times people say, oh, I had to wake up early today, or I got cut off in traffic today. And Mr. Steve will say, hey, you haven't seen nothing. If you have this dream, if this goal, if you want to put in the hard hours and do the smart things and have strategy, then Steve is here to tell us about his amazing company and his amazing work ethic and his amazing mindset. His website is java-twist.com. So, Mr. Steve, glad to be speaking with you.
Good to be speaking with you too, Robert.
Wonderful. And so, did I set the table about right? Did we get a good idea of what you're about? And I mean, what has you fired up? What has you so focused and passionate these days?
So, for many years, I'm not a young man anymore. For many years, I worked just in a company, and for no reason whatsoever, during COVID, when the world shut down, I lost my job. After all those years working for somebody else, I mean, I have always worked 2 and 3 jobs. I've always had a strong work ethic, but I realized that I was always following someone else's dreams. I wasn't doing anything for me that I wanted to do, that I was passionate about. And some of my jobs that I've had, I've been a barista for a long time, part-time barista. And so in 2019, I launched before the world shut down. I had launched this little thing we call JavaTwist with one flavor. And I was like, well, I'm going to just start doing something maybe that I enjoy that may be a future for me. Well, then the world shut down, and I was like, wow, what do I do now? I hustled, I did everything I could do. And so now I think about following my dreams. I found a job that I still pay my bills for my family. That's my 40-hour 9 to 5, whatever you want to call it. But the rest of the day, I break my days up into 2 different distinct days. There's uh, a lot of people know the Kobe Bryant kind of work ethic, right? Where you separate days up into scheduled. And I break my day up into 3 days, 2 working days and one basically rest, right? Sleep, body recovery, get your mentality right. But the other two, the first two, in the morning I wake up pretty much like clockwork, 5:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock if I sleep in a little bit, and then I go to work right away. I take a shower, get going out the door. I got to get to work, and that's when I'm following my JavaTwist dreams. I go. We have a brick and mortar store where we actually go and we produce the product. I hand make all. We hand make 9 beverages now. We still hand bottle them. I label them by hand. We go to farmers markets and festivals, and then I do all of that, and then I have a second shift job where then I go to my second shift job, and that's when I pay my bills. And so for me, mentality of I'm still paying my bills for my family. I'm a family man. I have a wife and a daughter, and I have bills to pay just like everybody else. I don't want to neglect that. I'm not trying to put that aside and just say, you know what, come hell or high water, we're just going to forget about that, right? We have to still be accountable and be responsible as adults. But the other side of that is I don't want to ever say that I woulda, coulda, shoulda. I want to leave it all on the table and do everything that I can to follow my dreams and really say, at the end of the day, if I fail, that I tried and I did the best and I came through a learning process from that. I mean, there is so much that I have learned through this process, and I'm a different man today than when I started JavaTwist in 2019. And even if it's just making me better, but I know I have made a product, and really I that's a bigger thing, but I view JavaTwist as a value proposition for my customers. I'm giving them a flavor adventure in a bottle that they never have had before with coffee and fruit, didn't exist before us. And really, that's that's a driving passion for me. It's their joy when they take the first try of JavaTwist. Nobody's had it before. Coffee and lemonade didn't exist. Now we got lime, pineapple, cranberry. We got all these flavors, and you take a sip of that, and to see their joy and to see the light bulb kind of go on, like I understand now. That brings me so much joy, and that's the value proposition I'm talking about. I'm giving the customer a crazy experience, a crazy awesome experience with a beverage, and then they give me in return the joy and the satisfaction as the manufacturer for that product. So that's a little bit about my work ethic and kind of the drive behind my family, why I do this, and what's my goal for JavaTwist. Boy, we'd love to be Coca-Cola, right? I mean, who
Right.
wouldn't? So, I mean, I hope that answers your question and hope that kind of sets the groundwork for the rest of the conversation.
It doesn't. There's so many interesting threads. I'm like, oh, do I pursue that or do I pursue that? And it's great to hear about how, because there's like two extremes basically, right? There's either like, well, I'm resigned to my 9 to 5 and I'll play it safe and settle for my steady paycheck, and that might be great for a while, but then when you're in your later years, you won't be known for anything, right? You won't have built anything. You'll have built it for someone else, and if that's the life path you want to be on, then many people do it, and that's great. But if you want
Yep.
more, then the alternative is not necessarily to drop that, and like pursuing your dreams can be multi-pronged, right? It can be strategic, and there's that tendency to say, well, I'm working the 9 to 5, I don't have enough hours to build a business, or let your ego in the way and say, oh, I'll go all in. Well, there's so much time to be freed up from not watching TV, from not sitting around the house, right? You can be productive, and you can have your cake and eat it too. It does take some taking care of yourself and time management and focus and stress management, all these other things, but it can be done. And it seems like you have done it. And I'm amazed whenever food and beverage is involved, because that just seems like a low margin, many times thankless, right? People expect a Coca-Cola can to be perfect every time. Like if you drank Coca-Cola for 50 years and there was one can that it's not even bad, but just didn't taste quite right, you'd be done forever. It's just like you need to be 100% perfect. Plus,
Yep.
like, I mean, people can't. You need to like formulate it right. You don't want people to like get sick or die. It's like unthinkable. It's some scary stuff. And so, food and beverage, you have to be like extremely on the mark. And so, it almost seems like you'd be crazy to create a new beverage just because of everything that's involved as far as like the perfectionism required. And like, how did this even happen? Like this idea of the mixing fruit and coffee, it seems right up there with like the first person to drink milk from a cow. Like who even imagined, who thought of something so crazy? So how did
Right.
you even come up with such a crazy idea?
So the beginning story is crazy. Like I told you at the beginning, I worked 2 and 3 jobs for a long time. I was a part-time barista while I was working 9 to 5. I was a part-time barista to help pay our bills, right? And so, because my wife didn't work, so my perspective, I as a barista, we R&D drinks, and I was in everything from the big green lady Starbucks. I was in those coffee shops to all the small mom and pops coffee shops that were out there, and we would be R&D and drinks all the time, all the time, right? Well, I was running a coffee shop here in town, and I was kind of the director. I wasn't the boss, but I was, right there. I was basically running it, and we everybody knows what an Arnold Palmer is. Arnold Palmer in the United States drink is iced tea and lemonade. It's a very popular product in the US. I mean, everybody knows what it is. They order it. They order the dirty Palmer, right, with alcohol. But Arnold Palmer is very popular. We were serving Arnold Palmers in the coffee shop that I was running, and it was in the summer, and I ran out of iced tea. Just ran out, right? Sold out of it. And I didn't have anything else. And so I said, well, I had cold brew coffee. And I said, well, why don't I try this cold brew coffee with this lemonade, see what it tastes like. At first, it was really awkward. And because I thought it would be equal ratio. Well, I messed around with it for a little bit, and I then served it, and I fell in love with it. And my customers, I put it on the menu just to see what would happen. And I put it on the menu, and those people that were willing to try it, man, they were blown away at the flavor. and it just that idea. Well, that launched just that one idea in that one small coffee shop launched me on this journey, and I couldn't let it go. I kind of walked away from the coffee world because I was working 7 days a week and I wasn't getting any time off. Um, and I'm like, I gotta at least take one day off, maybe a little half a day. And so I kind of was like, okay, so I walked away, but I couldn't let it go. I couldn't let this drink go. So I started making it at home. I actually started pressing all my own fruit with lemons and everything like that, just to try to make it the fresh. I realized really quickly that lemonade was pretty simple and easy to make. Juice, water, and sugar. It's not very complicated, right? So don't reinvent the wheel. So I found a really good lemon juice, and then I took my cold brew and I bottled it. Well, at early onset, I didn't know what the shelf life was. I'm not a manufacturer at that point. I don't know anything about science other than just going through high school and college. So I'm like, I got to figure this out. So I went and took a class, and because I had people asking me for the product, and I'm like, well, I can't sell it to you because I don't know. And so friends and family were asking me for this drink, and I was drinking it. And so I went to this class and I said, okay, if I do anything, I'm just going to launch one flavor. But right away, when I started with lemon and coffee, I realized that fruit. So coffee is the seed of a fruit. A lot of people don't realize that. Coffee is actually the seed of a cherry, red ripe coffee cherry, and it's the seed of it. So why wouldn't fruit go with fruit? That's kind of the
Right.
thought process. So I said, well, if lemon works, I wonder what other fruit juices might work. So we started messing around. I mean, lemon and lime and pineapple now and cranberry. I tried all sorts of different flavors. I mean, I have, you name it now, I've probably tried whatever you're thinking about. I have probably tried it to make it work to see what it would taste like. I've even tried some weird concoctions, but that's kind of the baseline story that my origin story, as it were, if that answers your question.
Yeah, you're a mad scientist, basically, right? You say, well, there was this one happenstance, we ran out of this, so we tried that, and then
Yep.
you said, well, now that's the kernel, the seed of an idea, as it were, and then you said, well, let me try all these different mixtures, concoctions, and then let me go back to that foundational knowledge and take a class and figure out what I don't know, and
Yep.
and that way there's no excuses, right? Because many times someone
Oh,
might say, oh, well, I invented this drink, and but I can't sell it. I can't multiply it. Can't manufacture it. It's just little humble old me. And it's like, well, then you won't get it out there, right? You won't actually do
right.
the marketing and the press that's required to kind of make this thing grow and get attention. And so, what has it grown to? Like you say, you started with the one flavor, and like what happened after that?
So I initially bootstrapped the business, and a little bit about my 9 to 5 was I worked in the garage door industry, and so I would go work for a garage door company and then put a garage door in on the side for a friend or a family member. Took the money, put that into JavaTwist. So I didn't take any of my budget from my family. I told my wife, I promised my wife I wasn't going to take a dime of our money. So I took the money from that side job of a garage door and I put it into JavaTwist. So we launched the one flavor. I would literally go buy a case of bottles, and then I would hand peel and stick labels. And I bought, I don't know what it was, 100 labels. I didn't go a lot. And that very first farmers market, we went to a very first farmers market after I got certified, and I had to pay for all of that and go to this class like I told you about, because this is a ready to drink shelf stable product. I had to have machinery specifically designed to make that happen. There's nothing on a small scale. Everything is large scale. Think of big bottling operations. There's no small bottling operations. So I had to take a page out of the beer industry to make it happen. I have these kettles now. They're about 9 gallons. That's what I started with. I found one on like a Facebook marketplace. I bought one kettle. I did one case at a time. I took the money and I went to the market and and I sold that case, right? Whatever it was, that one case. Then the next week, I took the money that I made and I did it again. And I did it again. Well, now, fast forward from 2019 when I launched that, obviously we had to go through COVID. That's a whole nother story. I'll explain that if you want. But now we have 9 beverages. We have our own brick and mortar store. So I have 7 coffee with fruit flavor combinations. We go through them. Lemon, the original coffee and lemonade. We have a lime, which is kind of like key lime pie with coffee. I have pineapple juice with coffee, very islandy vibe. Cranberry, because we're in Wisconsin, it's sweet, it's tart, it's coffee, it's a wild cranberry crack. A lot of my customers call it. We do an apple, which is a Honeycrisp apple juice with the coffee, very smooth and mellow, really fall vibe, very good hot and cold. We do 2 zero sugar now. We're monk fruit. In these two, we use the original lemon and then a cranberry with the monk fruit. While I was on this journey, some people don't drink coffee, right? You don't have customers if they're not coffee drinkers. But more than that, mom and dad was coming up to the farmers market and they had little Johnny or Susie with them, right? Their son or daughter. And I didn't have anything for the kids to drink. We launched this thing called chocolate lemonade, and it's like lemonade with a little kiss of chocolate. And now I have a blueberry lemonade, and we're going to be launching more flavors in the non-coffee line because a lot of our customers are asking for that. So really, from 1 beverage now to 9 beverages. We still hand do them. We still use the kettles, but I have 6 of them now, so I can produce a lot more. And we're in our own space, which is huge. I mean, I can go in there and work anytime. Before, when I started, I was in a commissary kitchen. You were sharing space with other artisans, so you'd always have to be on their schedule and you'd have to book it well in advance. You know, it was a little bit like, how do I do this with my other work? And
Right.
so
Of
for me,
course.
being able to go to our own store, it's JavaTwist people that can actually come and walk in and they can buy our product and sample it. And then we still do farmers markets, we do festivals, we do fairs, we do events, right? So anything and everywhere we can go and get our name out, that's what we do. I can ship the product all over the country. I've had requests to ship it all over the world, but that's really expensive. And
Right.
so I don't do that. I've just stayed here in the continental United States. But from our standpoint, I mean, there is no other product. We are unique in the marketplace in that coffee with fruit didn't exist, and now it does via JavaTwist. And so that is how we are unique and how we stand out. Now, it's hard. It's very hard because it's not like I invented a soda or a cola and everybody knows what cola should taste like. Obviously, Coca-Cola and Pepsi and RC and all these colas. I didn't just reinvent the wheel. I created a new one. So we have to sample, because I say cranberry juice with coffee. Nobody knows what that tastes like unless you've had it. You understand what that actually tastes like. A lot of people come up to the table and are like, that doesn't sound very good. And then they try it and they're blown away. And so I
Right.
have to sample every single day, every booth, everything we set up, we always sample, because I don't want you to buy something that you don't like. So it's the know, like, and the trust, right? I want you to know who we are, like it, right? And then you trust me to make it. So that's our business model.
Well, very nice. You're an innovator and a problem solver, and you're so right that it off just first impression, it does sound weird. And it's like, well, if you mixed it at home and you didn't know like what the right pineapple juice with coffee and the right ratio and all that, if you did just mix it haphazardly, of course it would taste weird and like it was a mishmash. But because it's this special formulation, you try it out. It's something new. I mean, how weird is cola anyway? It's like, why is it brown? Why is it fizzy?
Right.
Why is it like
Right.
sugary and syrupy? Like it's even, anything that is unknown to you, it is weird until you try it. And what's great about your story is there's just kind of like all these small wins, right? All these base hits. You say, well, I figured out the Facebook Marketplace. I could get the kettle. I figured out the commissary kitchen. So like that was an excuse. And it's what's also great about what you said in there is like you have a handle on money, right? A lot of people don't even like make much of a budget, or they don't have this kind of multi-step strategy like you say, well, this job I'll work, I'll put this into the business so that way it won't just be like, stealing money from myself again and again. You said, hey, I have a real plan, and I know what my numbers are, and I know what success looks like, and I know that if I get to this level, if I sell this case at the farmers market, then I'll do this other part of it. And we're limited on time, so we only have a few minutes, but I definitely want to get into the difficulties, because when you talk to these people that do like food and beverage, they have a similar work ethic as you, right? They say if there's some farmers market 50 miles away, if there's some charity event, or if there's some school or something, like I'm there, I'll go set up a booth. And I'm always impressed by that work ethic, because like my town has a farmers market every Saturday, and I walk through, and sometimes you see the people with their like jars or something, or they made something homemade, and you wonder like how profitable that is, right? You wonder if they're really selling any kind of units. So it's always interesting to hear about where people go wrong, or you've gone right, or you've struggled. So especially in COVID times, but also all the time, like where have you really been maybe stressed, panicked, not sure where to go on, and in this problem solving mode?
So scaling the business is really where I'm at right now, and that's the problem for us. There's very little margin right now in our product. In order to compete, there is no other product like ours, but everybody compares us to another beverage, right? So if I went in and actually charged what I should for our beverage, nobody would buy it because they wouldn't see the value there. I can just go buy something, another beverage, right? So I have to
Right.
be in line with beverages overall, even though there's not a competitor there. I still have to compete in that range. And so for me, the margins are paper thin. And the way people grow is in the beverage space is not just grassroots, which is really where I'm at. I have to grow grassroots, one store, one customer at a time. And eventually, hopefully, if I can stay in the business long enough, we keep winning customers one sip at a time. And that feeds into bigger accounts, more production, and that means more margin, right? So the more volume I do, the more money that I can make. I have not paid myself since 2019. So I am really hurting right now, stuck, right, with how to get over that hump. And the way we've gone back to this year, we're going back to grassroots. We were really aggressive last year, and we tried to do bigger events, and those didn't pan out the way that we thought. The market was soft last year. It was just a bad year overall. And so this year, we're going back to our roots and saying, okay, farmers markets, one customer at a time, and really capital is hard, right? Unless you go out on a limb and take a lot of debt. I'm in some debt because of our lease of our space. So I'm in that struggle bus right now, Rob. And for me, the way I see out of it is collaboration. We're collaborated with a cookie company. They're coming to our space now to help us. So we're trying to think outside the box, not just pigeonholing ourselves. I'm open to any and all conversations about how we grow as a business and how we can continue to give value to the customers via this beverage. So really, I think it's problem solving 101. Every day, I try to solve three things in my business. I try to focus on the rule of three, which every day I want to do three things. Even if I have a crazy schedule at work or something else is going on with my family, I want to do three things every day that push my business down the road. And if you think like that, and obviously there's a lot of days when I do like 20 or 30, you know what I mean? But even on the really days that you're not motivated, if you do three things, even if it's answering an email or putting up a Facebook post or something like that to get your business continue to go forward, you would be amazed in 6 months, in 12 months, what that is and what that looks like. You go from standing here to all the way down the road, and you're like, well, how did I get here? And then you just think back, and you said, well, I did this, I did this, I did this, and it just baby steps to get you where you want to go. I'm in it for the long term. You can't be thinking short-term profit. These venture capitalists, they want their money back right away. ROI on their business, right? I want to be able to show massive profits. Well, that's not how most businesses start. You don't get venture capitalist money from Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola doesn't buy you or look at buying you until you're telling $10 million worth of business a year. I'm not even close. So I'm not even a blip on their radar. And so I have to do the little things to get my business there. And that takes time. And so you just got to be in it to win it. And so that's where I am.
Well, that's a great mindset and a great message that no one else will do this hard work for you. You have to prove yourself. On those
Yep.
days you doubt yourself, you tell yourself it's a test, right? How bad do you want it? And are you going to be
Yeah.
one of these people that gives up? Well, that is a choice. Or you can be someone that says, well, hey, I'm having kind of a slow day, a down day, but what are those 3 things I can do to move my business forward to have kind of like a tortoise in the hare effect, right? You say, well, even if I have all these down days, it adds up over time. But then I have those days when I'm just really rocking and rolling and I get 20 things done. And you make me think, Steve, about any time I failed with a project, it's because I ignored it, neglected it for months, right? That's what really kills you, is by taking your attention away from something, and then you get the regret and that bad feeling and even thinking about it, and then it just kind of, you're in the death spiral, versus like, hey, what you focus on grows, and I'll just keep on putting this little bit into it every day. And man, you're on quite a journey, and I'm rooting for you, and I'm excited for you, and I'm here to help you, right? You're even though if you have a million things going on, you say, hey, I can take the time, I can take 20-30 minutes to come on Robert Plank's podcast, because you're looking for these people that will help you in your journey in these small ways. We'll get on Apple Podcasts, we'll get on YouTube. And so how can others help you? You have this website, java-twist.com, and what should they buy, and where will you be physically? Like, what's the next kind of like, physical location area where you'll be?
Well, we're in southeastern Wisconsin on a regular basis at farmers markets all summer long. They really kick off in May. So we have a couple events here in April, indoor markets that we're doing. They can come to our store. They can visit us online. On a bigger scale, if somebody sees this, like, I can make a specialty drink for anybody, right? So if you had, Steve, I want you to make a drink for me, and I can do that. I mean, you're like, I wonder what this would taste like or that would taste like. Because I have this now history of these crazy drinks, and we didn't even touch on the awards that we've won, but I've put my products up to the test and sent them to awards and winning awards. So we have 20 plus awards now. So from that standpoint, I've had people reach out to me and say, hey, can you make me a beverage? And we've started those conversations. So we can do that. I have had people say, hey, listen, we'd love to invest in your company. I mean, all of that, if somebody is on a higher level, wants to help us take it to really the big box retailers and really nationwide, not just worldwide, reach out. I mean, you can get a hold of me. My cell phone number is on the website. My email is on the website. I mean, those are direct links to me. I answer my phone every day. Um, and I'm happy to have a conversation with anybody about business. As far as locally, support local. We're trying to really blow up in southeastern Wisconsin, right? We want to really win our market so that it just starts to, you build the iceberg from underneath, and then you just slowly let it grow. And so we really do a lot of local stuff. I'm also doing stuff around the state to try to win other areas of our state, not just southeastern Wisconsin. So we go to Madison, we go to Green Bay, we go to central Wisconsin. So we're all over Wisconsin at some form or another all year long. And we do these events, and so we just try to continue to get the word out via social media and engage with me on on those platforms. I'm on YouTube now, just like you are. YouTube and TikTok and LinkedIn, right? We've talked about that already. So any of those platforms, we wear a lot of hats. That's my hats. I wear a lot of hats,
Right.
not only making the beverage, but social media and doing stuff like this, trying to constantly promote our business. They can find me on any one of those platforms.
Very nice. And one person at a time, like you said. And so that website we said is java-twist.com. And the phone number that you mentioned is 414-469-9173. If you're one of these people that Steve mentioned, if you say, hey, can you make this flavor? I've got this crazy idea. If you're an investor, if you have an event, if you're someone that you think needs to be speaking with Steve or Steve needs to be speaking with you, then make that happen. And on YouTube, that URL is youtube.com/drinkjavatwist. At the very least, go there and subscribe. And then we said that Steve is on LinkedIn. That last name is Schuyler. Mr. Steve is the CEO of JavaTwist, and he just has this crazy plan to change the world one person at a time, to combine fruit juice with coffee. And you make me think, Steve, like I've had like blueberry flavored coffee before, like with like the beans, the grounds themselves are flavored. So, and it's like a blueberry muffin with your coffee, right? So it's not such a crazy idea when you think about it. And on JavaTwist, you can place an order. There's the product catalog, there's mixer recipes, there's reviews. You can find out what you need to know. Steve's email is javatwistllc@gmail.com. Like we said, he's on Facebook, LinkedIn, on Instagram, it's JavaTwist. And on YouTube, it's Drink JavaTwist. And before I let you go, Mr. Steve, it's time for the last part of the show, the scary part, where I try to stump you. I try to put you on the spot by asking for a quote or lesson that has served you in your adventure. So what comes to mind for a quote or lesson?
So in college, my professor that I learned from, he said, if you want to be great, Steve, serve. And I have tried to do that in every area of my life. I want to be great. I want to leave a legacy for my family. I'll leave a legacy in my church. I want to leave a legacy with other people that I'm coming with, that were before, that are with me now, and that are behind me. And I view that as service, through service. So be great, serve. And that's really what my heartbeat is with JavaTwist.
What a message. If you want to be great, serve. It's not about you, it's about them. And if Steve's message excites you, if his concept excites you, that is java-twist.com. Try the lime, try the pineapple, lemon, apple, cranberry, chocolate. Try these mixes of fruit juice and coffee. It'll change your life. It'll change the world. And thank you, Mr. Steve, for showing up, stopping by, inspiring us, entertaining us with some amazing stories. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Robert. Nice to talk to you.
All right.